We're going to look at Charles' law. Charles' law states that the volume and the temperature of a gas before a change is directly proportional to the volume and the temperature of a gas after the change. We're going to have a look and see how to rearrange this formula, and we're going to use the cross multiplication method. So if we have a little look at the formula, we've got V1, which is equal to the volume before the change, divided by T1, which is the temperature before the change. And that is equal to the volume after the change, which is V2, divided by the temperature after the change. As I said, we're going to use the cross multiplication method. So to do this one, we simply multiply across. So if we rearrange this formula so that we could see, for example, the value of V2. So there's V2 just in the corner. So using our cross multiplication method, I'm going to rewrite the formula again. So V1 divided by T1 is equal to V2 divided by T2. Now I'm going to cross multiply just here, so that means I'm going to times up that way and times up that way, and I'm going to rewrite the formula. So we have T1 times by V2, if I just write that one down, T1 times V2 is equal to T2 times by V1. So I'm just going to write that one down. Now we said previously that we want to try and work out the value of V2. So all we've got to do now is we have to try and get this V2 here on its own. And so if we want to get something on its own, we need to try and remove the T1. And we remove the T1 by dividing it out. So if I divide this side by T1, I also have to do the same to the other side. Now we know that whenever we divide one number by itself, it always equals 1, so we can remove this. If we rewrite that formula for V2, we now have V2 is equal to T2 times V1 divided by T1. Now we don't actually need to put in the times here, but I'm just putting it there just to demonstrate that you do have to multiply these two figures. Let's have a look at another example. Let's find out how to rearrange the formula for V1 this time. So if we do our cross multiplication method, what we do is we rewrite the formula to say that T1 times by V2 is equal to T2 times by V1. So again, we just use the cross multiplication, and we're trying to find the value of V1. So here is V1 just here. So to get V1 on its own, we need to get rid of T2. So we divide each side by T2. And if we divide T2 by T2, we get 1, so we can remove that one. So we can therefore rearrange the formula to say that V1 is equal to T1 times V2 divided by T2. We could put the formula here on the other side and rewrite it over here. It's the same thing.